welcome to Issaquah Buzz, where we talk about all things business in Issaquah, from retail gossip to new restaurants. My name is Autumn Monahan, and I work with the city's communications team. I'm here with one of my favorite coworkers, Jen Davis Hayes, who's our economic development manager, and one of my favorite people to talk gossip and Salmon Days with. This is going to be our Salmon Days episode. I can't believe it's already here.
And no, happy fall, right?
I know.
It feels like Salmon Days really does feel like the beginning of fall, as it is for us. And so it's a true turning point for us. So very excited.
Very excited. So before we turn to gossip and to talk through Salmon Days, make sure to stay tuned later in our podcast for a business spotlight on one of my favorite restaurants in Issaquah, Naan-N-Curry. So excited to see that. All right, let's get started with gossip, Jen. So, so right off the bat, something about Fortunato.
Yeah, so it's actually two things that are going to be folks should look out for in the next month or so. So Fortunato Chocolate's actually going to move, but still within the same area they are, but they are going to expand their manufacturing. And so that's still open to the public. So our listeners may remember that they have two locations, one in the Commons and then one on Mall Street, where you can get, yummy hot chocolate as well and buy some different products. So very excited that they're growing in our community, and I can't wait to see that new space. The other one is Leather's Furniture Gallery, which is next to Value Village currently. So they've applied for permits for a temporary expanded showroom in the next few months at the Bartell's location on East Lake Sammamish. So it's just for a few months. So more choices if you want to, get some new furniture or some things as family are coming into town. But they're going to still remain open at the Value Village. They're not looking to move. It's just a holiday expansion. So
wow, I have been curious what was going on with Bartell's. So that's good to know that it's going to be used even temporarily for a bit.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Okay, there's two things that I wanted to talk about involving Gilman Village that I'm quite excited about. In fact, I think I need to go this weekend to go visit the first one. But first, let's talk about, it's called Altier Gouvis, I think is how you pronounce it. But it's opening in Gilman Village, or it's already opened. It's next to Agate Designs, which we talked about in our last podcast. But I'm really excited to learn more about this. So we reached out to the owner. Her name's Monica. She sells women's clothing and accessories and had a shop in downtown Seattle and has now decided to move to Gilman Village. And she makes almost all of the clothing in her shop herself and designs it all herself. And, shared a bit about what she does. She uses all different types of fabric, a lot of times vintage fabrics. She also said if you go in and you like something, but you want a different color or a different size, she can make it special for you. So you have kind of a one-of-the-kind outfit or piece of clothing. And that she'll also tailor your clothes. So even while you shop, she might be able to mend or tailor something to fit you. So like super specific, one-of-a-kind clothing. I know. I'm really excited to see it. Yeah.
Oh, so, that's great, because I'm a little taller, so it's always hard to find the right fit. So I gotta check that out.
Yeah. She also sells jewelry, which I'm also intrigued about. And I love this quote from her. She sent this in email to us. I'm hoping that I can inspire women in Issaquah to feel confident in interesting, unique clothing and to explore their own creative selves. I don't make clothes for people who want to be invisible.
Oh, I like that.
I know.
Wow. So everybody needs to go check it out. And I think that I saw a posting somewhere where it had some pretty very interesting clothes, and kind of, I think it's just a matter of, that uniqueness that she makes. It stands out, but it's not gaudy, right? It's very classic and classy. Yeah.
I'm quite excited. So have to check that out. She's already open. So go see her shop. And then opening up here anywhere between November and January is a wine bar called Wine Me Up. That's also opening in Gilman. It's owned by two friends. It's Kiara and Ashley. And they're going to have a ton of stuff going on, it sounds like. So a lot of events. And like, sip and paint type events, or sip and shop, or have like a kitchen pop-up, or have things happening, live music, stuff that's going on in their wine shop. And then, we're looking on their website, they're going to have small bites and wine, beer, cocktails, and wine tails. Have you ever heard of the term wine tails before?
No. So is it a cocktail with wine, I guess?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds interesting.
First we'll go get like full, like tailored, one of a kind
Yes.
clothing, and then
Yes.
try wine tails.
Exactly. We'll be very unique here in Issaquah and Gilman
Yeah.
Village.
So we're looking forward to them opening up. They also, are really behind, and it said that their values are really like that they're a small business that's also supporting other small businesses, which I found really cool. So excited to support them as well. It'd be great to
Yeah.
see what they make of that space and what kind of events and things that they have to attract customers.
Yeah. So the kitchen pops up and there are things they're talking about. It really does help those other small businesses who are trying to test their products. So I can't
Mhm.
wait to see that collaboration. It'll be really fun and unique every time.
Yeah. Okay, so what's going on with Burger
Yes.
Master?
Burger
For those
Master.
for those who may have not heard, even though we talk about it almost all the time, Burger Master's going into the old Triple X on Gilman,
Yes.
but we've all been patiently waiting, or maybe
Yes.
impatiently waiting.
Yeah.
Do you have any news?
Yeah, so we had mentioned before that it's going to take a little while to update the old Triple X building to what they want it to be. They're going to create a pull-in area in the back, all that good stuff. So they actually invested in, and this is their first one, a food trailer, so they can do food service while they're constructing. So it's not in the building. People can go there, walk up. They're even trying to see if they can do some drive-through. So the food trailer has arrived on site. And so we're very excited. If you drive by, it's not yet in where it's going to be. So they're still hooking it up for utilities and all that kind of fun stuff. But they're all over social. So I think if anybody wants to kind of keep up with them, they really have embraced our welcoming and love to hear and just share with the Issaquah community what's happening. And so there's follow them in social. We learned that they're also hiring, so if anybody's interested, look at their website. And I think they might have referred to us on their Instagram post today where it says we hear all the buzz.
Or that has to be a shout out to us, right, Jen?
Yes, it's all about the buzz. So yes.
Well, we're excited to hear more. Yes, I'll keep checking social to see when that opens up, because that'll be fun to check out. Yeah.
I think it'll be soon, but so we'll be smelling some good hamburgers and other fries and milkshakes and salads. Okay. All that stuff.
Can't wait.
There'll be a line, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, definitely. All right, some sad news that that Crowbar that is located on Front Street closed the end of August. I just walked by yesterday and was so sad. And then it was a sad moment. I found an old gift certificate that I had not yet used for Crowbar. I know. That was a great spot, and one that I know that our community loved. So we are sad to see them go. Do you know what's happening? There's kind of a side store in the back of Crowbar called Seatown.
So unfortunately, that one's going to close as well, but not as soon. And so I think it is very sad that both of those businesses have closed, because it was really good food and an opportunity to take some food, seafood home and make your creations. But I know that the owner of Crowbar, Dan Sue, and I spoke the other day, and he said there's lots of different kind of restaurants contacting him because it is rare to find an open restaurant space in Issaquah. So no doubt they're going to have lots to choose from. They still own the building, so they want to find a really good tenant to make sure that it fits into downtown and our community. So they're going to do us well by picking the right restaurant. So
great. No, I'm excited. We'll keep watching for that. That's a great location, right in the heart of Old Town. Yeah, it'll be a great spot for another restaurant. Yeah. Okay, let's turn to Salmon Days. It's only really days away now. I can kind of already feel the excitement, especially around City Hall as we're all planning. It's happening. So 55th year of Salmon Days this year.
Yes, I can't. And you know what the slogan is?
No.
Many happy returns. There you go.
Ha 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 ha. Welcoming the
drum roll. Yes. Yeah, no, I was thinking about it this morning before we did our podcast, and I found some old pins that I'm stewarding. So basically, I found these when we were cleaning out City Hall Northwest because I didn't even
Mhm.
work here when some of these pins were from 2007, 2008, 2009. Now the 2016, I was here, so it's fun, and I wish I actually had all the years, so maybe that's something to collect. But it's really, yeah, fun to think about how our community, really embraces Salmon Days, and it attracts
Mhm.
lots of visitors to visit not just the booths that are downtown. There's like 500 booths this year, 75 food vendors. But I want people not to forget that there's lots of downtown restaurants and businesses that are also open during Salmon Days. So you can finish your day at Village Theater with a show. You can stop and rest yourself for a minute to do a movie at Big Picture.
Mhm.
So, there's so much going on. But what exactly days and times and what's kind of happening throughout that time? Do you know?
Yeah, so 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's always been those are the times, October 5th and 6th. So it's always the first full weekend in October. For those who may be new to Issaquah, it always starts with a grand parade on Saturday morning, which just warms my heart. That's just like quintessential Issaquah to
Yeah.
have a hometown parade.
Yeah.
My daughter will be in it as a Girl Scout. It's
Mm.
it's just like memory building at its finest, right? So it
Yes.
starts with a grand parade and then opens up Salmon Days. And so, like you mentioned, there's plenty of booths. There's a lot to see as far as food vendors and others. Make sure you check out Veterans Memorial Field. That's the Field of
Hmm.
Fun. And that festival is going to have all sorts of things this year: robotics demos, inflatables for kids to jump on. This year, you can do selfies with Sammy the Salmon's going to be on
Ooh.
site. And then a lot of stuff for kids, salmon
Yeah.
coloring and other crafts and projects.
Hmm.
There's also the dock dogs, where the,
Oh,
the dogs
so
run and jump
popular.
off into the water, which is so much fun to see. And then, the Salmon Days, which is put on by the Greater Issaquah Chamber of Commerce, they're also
Hmm.
planning 2 beer gardens this
Hmm.
year. A tradition of always is that Kiwanis will be doing their salmon barbecue at Gilman Hall or Gibson Hall. So make sure to check
Hmm.
out that and get some salmon.
Yeah.
There's live music every year. And then, of course, I should mention you can actually see salmon at Salmon Days too. So check out the
That's
hatchery. Yes, there are plenty of spots to view salmon throughout Issaquah, but
yes.
right near the festival, you can stop by the hatchery and see fish. And then just another plug to make sure that everybody stops by the city's booth. We're right outside of City Hall. And we have done this now for many years, and
Yeah.
it's just so popular we can't stop. But you can come and get a photo with Sasquatch. And then we post all the photos on Facebook so everybody can see them. It's so much fun. It's a great way to interact with the community and just meet everyone. So make sure to stop by and say hi to us at the booth. So very excited. There's so much going on. You could fill 2 full days for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, and do something
Definitely.
new at each moment. So
Yeah.
yeah,
S- So getting there, it may be a
yeah,
little hard as people who have been there before, but it's actually
yeah,
not that hard
yeah.
because there's a lot of paid parking lots that benefit the local nonprofits. So I know the PTA at Issaquah Valley Elementary is one of those, and there's lots of other youth groups that do that. And so if you go to the Salmon Days website and look at the information, festival information, you can see the parking lots where they're located. But even more importantly, you can see the route that Metro is rerouting their bus service. So basically, from Issaquah Transit Center, you can park there. So that's at the corner of SR 900 and Newport. And then you can take the bus, and the official stop for Salmon Days will be at the hatchery. So that when you get off there, there'll be information booth, and you can kind of again walk through, see the salmon. That's the reason we do this. So they do, the chamber does this, and then go right into the festival. And so, but you can also look at what other stops that you can take along that bus route. So I think, if you plan well, you don't have to be circling the area for multiple times to find parking. Just make it easy. Find one of those parking lots, park at the Issaquah Transit Center, and find your way in, and bring your hunger and your creativity, desire, because there's so many amazing things to buy, to experience. Every single of those 500 booths, it feels like every single one of those has something to do as well, right?
Yeah.
So You can go and spin a wheel and learn something educational about salmon or environment. So
Yeah, fingers crossed for good weather.
yes.
I have lived through many salmon days of both like just really, really hot weather all the way to hail. So you never know what you're going to get at salmon days, but
Yep.
it will always be open. So
Yep. That's true.
I've seen salmon days occur at any kind of weather. So don't worry about that. Like, make sure to come join us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, very excited for salmon days. Okay, so now let's turn to our business spotlight, which is Naan-N-Curry, and they are located in the Meadows Shopping Center. That's along Gilman. It is one of my family's favorite restaurants in Issaquah. And I actually have a friend who's lucky enough to go along with the Seattle Times food reviewer and just try all sorts of food throughout the Pacific Northwest. It's a wonderful friend to have. But she texted me years ago and said, Autumn, have you been to Naan-N-Curry? I said, no. And she goes, you better go now before this article drops in Seattle Times and they are overloaded with new customers. We went, it is delicious. And so I'm really excited to learn more about the history and the background of Naan-N-Curry in this spotlight.
So Naan-N-Curry is a family business that was started by my father in 2005. And we started our location here in Issaquah in 2016. We saw Issaquah as a place where we could grow as a business at the same time the community was growing here as well. We had a meeting with the Economic Development Department and they were very excited about us coming here. And I think our interaction with them set kind of the precedent of how we wanted to see ourselves here in Issaquah. There is not a lot of Pakistani options in the Seattle area. So for Issaquah to have one of the best is a big testament to the city itself. Our goal is to be able to portray our culture as well as our food in a setting where it's warm, inviting, and also create a holistic experience for our customers. Pakistani food often gets lumped into Indian food, although there's a lot of similarities as far as how the spices are used and their execution and the potency is different. There is a stark difference in how the food is made. And if you are not familiar with Pakistani food, we're very good at educating you as well on realizing what the differences between the foods are, as well as picking out things that you'll definitely order every time you come in. We're very lucky to see and fortunate enough to interact with many different departments of the city of Issaquah. When we first started here, our restaurant was only a 15-seater restaurant. So eventually with time, we took over the spots next to us. And through that time, we were working with the Economic Development Department as well as the permitting department. And everyone played their role in helping us get launched as soon as we could because they saw the potential our business had. We want you to be able to say that, yes, there was a difference between what you ate here and at other establishments. We are well known for our food and our recipes. That's how our inception came to be in 2005 when we branded ourselves as a Pakistani restaurant, because at that time there literally was none. Over the years, we've kind of captured that niche. And when you come in here and you taste the spices and you understand how the flavors work with one another and you pick out complementary dishes, you'll become accustomed to what you had here. And our goal is always for you to have that as the benchmark. Our future, I believe, is very bright in Issaquah. The way that the community has made us a part of their daily lives here is very unique. Considering we've been able to grow into the adjacent spaces, we now have the ability to seat more people, to do a lot more business. And even during the pandemic, we were just takeout only. And even during that time, the community definitely stood by us. We recently reopened for dine-in about a year and a half ago, even after the pandemic, and we've been welcomed with open arms. So I see our future being very bright in Issaquah.
Oh my, now I'm hungry. Isn't that amazing? And I love the owners of Naan-N-Curry. I have a little secret to tell you. So I knew about Naan-N-Curry before they came to Issaquah because yes, so they have the first location in Renton, and I used to work for the city of Renton. So when they called and said were looking at Issaquah, I was like, yes, yes. And so it is I'm so happy for them that they have been able to expand and gotten so much attention. And if you haven't been in there in a couple of years, you should go because they recently remodeled. Maybe it's been a year, but it is beautiful. And the food, I mean, just fabulous. So check it out.
Yes. I think I know where I'm getting dinner tonight. All right. So that is a wrap on this edition of Issaquah Buzz. Thank you so much for joining us. Join us next time to hear more business news in Issaquah. And let us know if you have a favorite business or you hear some gossip that you want us to track down. And contact us at ed@issaquahwa.gov. Thanks for joining us.
Take care.